Two Desired Factors in the Life of the Ideal Man by Krishna's Mercy. Etadakhyanam pathan Ramayanam nar saputra potra sagan pretya swarge mahiyate. Quote, "The man who reads and recites this narration of the Ramayana will be blessed with a long duration of life, and after death will be welcomed and respectfully received in the heavenly region, along with sons, grandsons, and relatives." Valmiki Ramayana, Bala Kand, 199.
1. Hardship. Listen, I'm a sucker for those underdog stories, where they had everything going against them, where the childhood was anything but ideal, where no one thought they had a chance at making it. The hardship they endured was so extreme that we can barely imagine tolerating the same today. I love seeing the power of the human spirit prevail in overcoming the greatest obstacles. 2. Responsibility. Have you ever read these memoirs of famous people? I have noticed that none of them describe playing video games for hours on end during childhood. No one talks about how bored they were or how they had nothing to do. Instead, they had tremendous responsibility from a young age. The parents pushed them, the teachers were anything but lenient. I like hearing that. I want to see how people stay accountable when there are indeed a lot of people counting on them. If you ask me, children today do not have enough responsibility. We are so concerned with their feelings, but that concern is stunting their growth in handling real-world problems later in life.
The teachings should be enough. The presence of the principles is sufficient to spark an interest. Every person contemplates. Every person thinks. To be is to have consciousness. The human being has the most consciousness, if running a comparative analysis. Even the drunkard, having fallen into an abyss of hopelessness and despair, considers a different way of life, if only for a few moments. If we have the science of self-realization, in the timeless tradition of Vedanta, which is the final word in the stacking tower of conclusions, then we should take an interest. We should swarm to the instruction like thrifty shoppers hungry for a bargain on that one day of the year at the retail outlet. We should devour the sound, listening attentively, and hearing from the Tattvadarshi, as recommended in Bhagavad-gita. Tad vidhi pranipaten, pariprashnen sevaya, updekshyanti te jnanam, jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Quote, "Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth." Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 4:34. Sadly, there isn't much interest. The identity of the individual, the ever-changing covering and its mechanism for shift in response to action, the influence of time and how there is one person standing above it all. These topics should interest us. Books discussing these topics should be the perennial bestsellers. They should be on the homepage of the internet retail outlet. Once a person learns to read and write, when they become literate in the language of choice, they should at least find one genuine book in this category and display it proudly on their bookshelf at home. Every guest subsequently visiting the home should notice that book and want to at least open it. Aligning with principle of causeless mercy, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so kind that he does not limit the experience to philosophical discussion. Any person can gain an understanding of the same principles through hearing stories. Not mythological tales, not make-believe, but the recounting of factual events, as they took place in the past and how they will unfold in the future. Narad Muni gives the highest endorsement to the historical narrative known as the Ramayana. Just by hearing and reciting this work, in discussing it with others, in having a katha dedicated to Hari, we can find perfection both in this life and the next. There is everything to gain. This must mean that the subject matter caters to every crowd. This must mean that the story has appealed to the common person from any period of time. From the above review, we see that if the ideal story should discuss the ideal man, then there are some factors that should attach to that man. In the Ramayana poem, the main character is Sri Rama. He is supposed to live up to the standard of the ideal man. Though he is a man, he is still Vishnu. Rama is still God, but in a supposedly human form. That one man once single-handedly defeated 14,000 attacking ogres of incredible deeds. Rama was a foot soldier in that battle, while the Rakshasas could change shapes at will and disappear from vision whenever desired. Chaturdash sahasrani rakshasa bhim karmanam hatanyeken ramena manushena padatina. Quote, those 14,000 Rakshasas of frightening deeds were eliminated by that one man, a foot soldier, who was Rama. Valmiki Ramayana, Kand, 26:35. Rama undergoes tremendous hardship. His is a riches to rags story. The change is abrupt and unexpected. The way Rama deals with the change is more striking. It is as if nothing negative has occurred. The adversity is placed on a level equal to good fortune. It is as if Rama is a living embodiment of the principle described to Arjuna in Bhagavad-gita. Yasmanno dvijate loko lokanno dvijate cha ye. Harsha marsha bhayodve gair mukto ye, sachame priya. Quote, he for whom no one is put into difficulty, and who is not disturbed by anxiety, who is steady in happiness and distress, is very dear to me. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 12:15. Hardship is a little easier to handle with when there is no responsibility. The crying child in the waiting room at the doctor's office creates an annoying sound. But at least I do not have to do anything about it. It is not my child, after all. The crying is not my problem. The hardship I experience in this case is minimal. It is not much to complain about. But Rama endured the attacks against him while trying to uphold righteousness. He wanted to give the best example of Dharma, since others tend to follow the example set by a great man. There is no greater man than Rama, and so the pressure was always on. Yadyadacharati shreshthstatta devetaro jana, sa yat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate. Quote, whatever action is performed by a great man, common men follow in his footsteps, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 3:21. It is no wonder that someone as amazing as Sri Hanuman worships Rama. Hanuman continues to remember the husband of Sita on a regular basis. The association is there through the Ramayana, and from that connection we can reach the same destination as achieved from learning the philosophy of Vedanta. In closing, if for wisdom to yearn, Vedanta philosophy to learn. But not everyone so inclined, offer for lectures declined. The same from a story heard, by Ramayana emotions stirred, hardship with responsibility coupled, Rama never from the pressure buckled.